your own family and your close friends, you know, can be the most difficult people, and I think that is because they actually are close to you. Because in some ways, some people seem to could listen more to something that comes from someone that they don't know so well. It's a very strange human trait in people. So I think the thing is, it's a kind of you're kind of going for. We're not gonna be able to educate everyone to go vegan, and so I think if you fail to educate somebody to become vegan, I think there's two things that you can think about. That doesn't mean that they won't become vegan at some stage. I mean, I've had arguments with people and they've steadfastly said that they'd never be vegan. And then a couple of years later, lo and behold, they have become vegan. Because I thought about, you know, and it's important not to kind of get in a real row with people and make them hate you, because if people don't like you, then they're not going to take any notice of what you say. So if you're in discussion with someone that's not a vegan and they refuse to go vegan, then, you know, it's very easy to start really having a go at them. But I don't think that's a good idea, because, you know, still be nice to them and say, all right, okay, you know, we have to agree to differ. Because if that person still likes you, then what you've said to them may well play on their mind, and they might think, oh, you know, that person did have a point after all, and I will go vegan. If they don't like you, they're not going to do that. So it's a very important psychological tip, I suppose, to remember. But I think, you know, we just have to, if we're able to educate, I probably would say like a sizable minority of people to go vegan. If we were able to educate 20 or 30% of the population to go vegan, then I think that, and even it could be even less than that, then the number of vegans then would rapidly increase, because it would become much more normal for people to become vegan. And I think one of the things that holds people back is this thing about people not wanting to be different to everyone else, you see. So as vegan becomes more and more normal, and as it spreads, it'll reach a point when it will spread really rapidly, when it becomes kind of more normal to be vegan. And I think we're building up to that point now, and so I think you can't worry too much about people who turn around and refuse to be vegan. You just have to then go on to the next person and think, well, look, I'm not going to worry about that. There's all these other people in the world that I need to approach, and often members of your family are the most difficult, but there's loads of people out there in society that if you get out there that will become vegan.
You said you do a lot of campaigning for groups. Have you ever done anything illegal?
Yeah, is the Pope Catholic? Well, yes, a few things. Yeah, I mean, I've actually been I've actually served 3 prison sentences for Animal Liberation Front activities, and I was one of the founders of the Animal Liberation Front. And caused a huge amount of damage to animal abuse industries when I was younger. Oh yes, not that I regret any of that. And I think that was it.
Do you think it worked?
I think it worked to some extent. I mean, it's not something I regret, because, you know, the result of those actions actually did spare thousands of animals from suffering and slaughter. So yes, you know, it was it was successful in that way. But I think what it comes down to in terms of you know, how human beings exist in the world is that we've imposed a tyranny throughout the world on other animals. It's like it's a form of imperialism, sort of like a Nazi regime that the human species has imposed on other animals, where we exploit them, we imprison them, we torture them, and all those things. And basically, the basic reason for that is what I'd call human supremacism or speciesism, and that's because people think that humans are more important than other animals, and that's a totally irrational and immoral viewpoint. You know, we're just one animal species on this earth. There's loads of other animal species, or there's thousands and thousands of other animals, animal species, and billions of other animals, and this is their home too. They have as much right to be here and to live out their lives on this earth as we do. and yet we've chosen, the human species chosen to be the tyrant and exploit and abuse all this stuff, and that has to change. And the only way that's going to change is when a large number of people refuse to be human supremacists anymore, that they accept that humans aren't superior to other animals, and we should allow other creatures equal status on the earth, that allow them space on the earth, and not abuse them, not exploit them, that we're not more important than them. And until we get a large number of people to accept that, we're not going to really make much progress in terms of achieving widespread animal liberation. And I think the thing about direct action was great. Yes, we saved loads of animals, but it cost the animal abusers a lot of money. That saved animals. We got animals out of places, and that saved animals. But in order to bring about widespread animal liberation, we've got to change the attitudes and behaviour of a large number of people, and really that can only be done by education. So that's why vegan education is absolutely fundamental to animal liberation. And it's not so exciting, not so exciting, and you have to go out there and talk to those dreaded ordinary people that eat meat and stuff, But when I decided that I was going to go out and do street stalls, I was really, really frightened. I thought I'm going to have to talk to ordinary people. Never had really anything to do with ordinary people before. I didn't like them, they were meat eaters and that. But you have to, you don't mix with people, you don't communicate with them, you're not going to change them. And so I went with other people who were already doing that. I can learn the ropes with them, and then I was able to go and do it myself. And it is difficult, especially these days. Most people, if you do a stall promoting veganism, and often you don't have to, when you do a street stall, it doesn't actually have to be on the subject of veganism. You can do it on other animal protection subjects. I used to do a lot of stalls on protecting whales and dolphins, because it's a very popular subject with the public. Loads of people love whales and dolphins. And then when people came to sign the petition, I'd give them vegan leaflets, because those people already cared about some animals. So I thought, right, you care about some animals, so you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
So here's a vegan leaflet, I'll make you move further along in the right direction. So you're dealing with people that are already partly down the road, so it's easier. And so that's why I did that for many years. And now a lot of the stalls I go on to promote veganism. Sometimes we have vegan stalls, free. If you give out free food, free recipes, well, people will come for that, like that. But I've done stalls against the badger cull, and again, against the fur trade, against other stuff. But you always promote veganism at the same time. And everyone, I say to all vegans, it's great that you're vegan. That's brilliant. That's I think for every person in this country, I think every year there's something like 120 animals are slaughtered every year to feed one person in this country on average. So like becoming vegan, you can say, well, as a vegan you've saved 120 animals a year, and in a lifetime, if you live to be 100, that would be 12,000, wouldn't it? And as a vegan you might well live to be 100. I will, we'll have to see. So it's it's something that everyone can do, and just going around putting leaflets through people's letterboxes into their homes so they can read them, stuff like that. It's really easy. I leave leaflets on public transport. Coming here today on the train, I've left a leaflet where I was sitting.
It's a really good idea, that is.
Yeah, because I know people, that's how they become vegan. They found a leaflet on a train or a bus, and that's how they become vegan. So, we need to spread this information, and it's not difficult. People don't need to go to jail for years like me.
I was just telling my mum the other day, all the best activists have been to prison, Mum.
So you're going, are you?
I'm going.
But the thing is, I don't think you need to go. I mean, if somebody wants to go out and do direct action, I'm not standing in their way. I'm not going to criticise them or condemn them. If that's how they feel,
Yeah.
they want to. That's what their heart tells them. the thing is that, you know, the important thing is to be active. You know, that a lot of vegans aren't active because they're the people. They are the kind of source of change. They are the kind of. This is the group of people from which this huge change is going to come from. It's the vegans. No one else can do it. No one else is going to educate on people to be vegans. It's got to be vegans, you see. And the thing about vegan is, with a lot of people, veganism is a passive activity because it's about what you don't do. I don't eat this. I don't eat that. You know, I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. I don't go to the circus. I don't go to the zoo. I don't go to the horse racing. It's all about what you don't do. But veganism should be also about what you do. In other words, I don't do all those things, but what I do is I go out and I try to spread the message to the public to create more vegans.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kind of did a load of calculations and worked out that if every vegan in the country did one activity a month for vegan outreach, and that those activities actually needed more than one person, even if those activities needed 10 people for each one, which is very rare. You don't need 10 people to do a street stall, but for sake of argument, that's what I worked out. I worked out there'd be 500 actions a day, 500 a day in the country, and just think how many new vegans would be created if there were 500 vegan outreach actions, street stalls, people giving out leaflets, putting leaflets through doors, all that kind of thing. You know, we'd make marvellous, and then get those people doing stuff, and it would escalate, you see. So I think, you know, as long as vegans do this, that they take up this message, it isn't difficult. Don't be frightened. People might eat meat, they're not going to eat you. So, you know, get out there, and, you know, if you're scared of frightened of talking to other people, just go around and put leaflets through letterboxes.
Yeah.
You could get your whole town covered within like probably a couple of years if you went out regularly. Every single person could have a vegan leaflet through their letterbox. And organisations like Animal Aid, I mean, I think Animal Aid are great, and, you know, other ones are as well, but they'll send you free leaflets, send you leaflets free.